In a stunning move that makes absolutely zero sense, Sony has bought Bungie, the creators of Destiny and Halo, for $3.6 billion, and I'm just left kinda scratching my head. Because, like I said, this is a big acquisition, but it's nowhere near the big acquisition some of the industry analysts were speculating. Some of the industry analysts were saying, "Oh yeah, Sony, they're looking to buy EA," and anyone with half a brain already knew that wasn't going to happen. I already made a video about that. It had some dumbass Sony fanboys who jumped on that video and spammed the dislike button. And of course, they were proven wrong, and I was proven right yet again. Instead of purchasing a company that they didn't have the money for, Sony instead acquired Bungie. But even more baffling than this recent news is the fact that Sony has allowed Bungie to remain independent, which means they will remain a multi-platform studio, and that means that every future game that they make, until Sony says otherwise, will see releases on other platforms, including PC and Xbox. So with that particular tidbit of news, I'm thinking there's one of two reasons for this. Number one, Sony is playing the same game that Microsoft is playing, right? For the time being, the company we just bought, we will allow their games to go to other platforms. That way we don't piss off audiences from those platforms. Either that or the executives over there at Sony may not know what the hell they're doing. That could be a possibility as well. Because it makes no sense to buy a company like Bungie, right? And then you allow their games to go to other platforms. Nothing about that makes any sense. So let's say, for example, Bungie, they develop Destiny 3 at some point in the future, in the near future. Could be a year from now, could be 2 years from now. Who knows? If Destiny 3 goes to Xbox and PC, then basically that defeats the purpose of Sony going through with this acquisition in the first place. Now, there could be a third reason for this, another side that I didn't mention earlier. It could be that the CEO of Bungie would not allow an acquisition like this if they weren't allowed to release their games on all platforms. Although, because Sony owns them now, it's not really a thing of what the CEO of Bungie wants at this point. Because, if Sony really wanted to, they could say, well, we own you now, so your games are going to be exclusive to PlayStation from now on, whether you like it or not. But either way, no matter what the reason is that Bungie has been allowed to remain independent, I'm thinking that what's really going on is that all of this is going to be temporary. Meaning that eventually, and I said the same thing when Microsoft bought Bethesda, I said the same thing when Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard. Eventually, the games that these companies make, they will only see exclusive release on the platforms of the company that bought them out. In this case, it would be Sony. So I'm thinking this independence of Bungie is temporary. Of course, only time will tell, but I don't think it's going to last. I think in the next 3 or 4, years or what have you, whatever their next game is going to be, that is going to see an exclusive PlayStation release. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Now, for those watching, you can feel free to disagree, but like I said, this deal really doesn't make any sense. $3.6 billion is still quite a bit of change. And Sony's not in the same, financial situation that Microsoft is in. So for them to make an acquisition like this, somehow not come to an agreement with Bungie to have their games remain exclusive on PlayStation from here on out, it really just doesn't make any sense at all, as I've already stated. Now, what does this mean for the gaming industry as a whole? That all these major companies are buying these publishers and these different development studios that have been around for a very long time. What does it really all mean at the end of the day? Well, it means that gaming is about to become more shit. That's basically what it means. Because now, within the next half decade or so, that's my estimate, we are going to start seeing some of these franchises that used to be available for everybody, regardless of your platform of choice. We are going to start seeing some of these franchises become exclusives to, Sony and Microsoft. And in that situation, the only people that lose are the consumers. Because now, within the next few years, if you want to play Call of Duty, you won't be able to do it on PlayStation. You'll have to buy an Xbox. It's going to happen eventually. I guarantee it. In fact, I believe Microsoft already stated that Call of Duty will remain multi-platform, I think, for the next three years or so. So after that time, everything is up in the air. Whatever Bungie, releases next, or it could be their next 2 games or their next 3 games, whatever they decide to do. Eventually, we're going to get to a point where Sony's going to say, we need you to develop a game exclusively for us. It's going to happen. It's not a question of how, it's a question of when. I'm not really in support of these acquisitions. Like I said, it's just another nail in the coffin for the gaming industry at large. This isn't about competition anymore, like how, traditionally exclusives are. These are 2 big console manufacturers that are buying up all of these, household names, for themselves. Like I said, the only people that win are the executives that work at these companies. The consumers, however, we all lose. So no one should be happy about this. No one should be happy about this at all.